Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing with Deku Head the Red Thread of Fate part 13, I believe. I'm not sure exactly, but I'll check again. But the reason I've been so out of it is because I got hurt. I got. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about that one. But the real reason is because I didn't really think of a good storyline for the next part. Every time I think of it, I can see something bad will happen and plot holes with it. So I'm going to go with this one. You guys complain about it, oh well. And since nobody's listening to this, at the time I'll say I have 4 subscribers right now. Okay, back to it. So a month has really passed, and everything seems all good. And both Night Eye and All Might has been actually becoming more and more like friends to to the very end, where they became just like how they used to with before the All for One battle. Yeah, got his name right. So this is a new month. Uh, Deku is waking up and did the same routine. Waking up, taking a shower, brushing his teeth, and everything else, getting dressed. Then he looked to the mirror and see the future for this month. And he sees something really bad that's gonna happen, and he doesn't like it. So he wants to change it, but he had to find the person there. If you guys might know what this is about, then you should know. And Zuko is looking further in the future and seeing what else is going to happen. And he does not like the future at all, so he knows he needs to change it. So after class, everybody's doing all good. They're asking, Suyu is asking Deku about his internship, um, or whatever it's called. And Deku's doing the same thing with Suyu and Uraraka. Oh, and they all turn to Hiroshima and Bakugo and asking about their internship. Since now Hiroshima and Bakugo were, well, technically jealous, they try to get Tamaki, I think that's his name, for his, and he was terrified of both of them because of their Kirishima's bright attitude and Bakugo's angry but loud attitude. So two things are very against him, and he couldn't say no to both of them at the same time, even though he's older, even though he's powerful, and a lot of other things. But they are now inter, working with Fat Gum, and they're saying some things and pretty much the usual stuff. So after all that, after the classes have ended, they Izuku was told to get in a little early for this day. And nothing really special, just a meeting for everybody. And yeah, let's skip to a few hours. Zuko, Naai, Mirio, Bubble Girl, and a few others, randoms, are talking in a meeting about how everything is going for this month and all the rules. Since Naai is very, very focused on trying to capture this one guy, the Yakuzas. Naai is showing Zuko, since he's been in the agency for long enough, about his plan and how things are going. So he does that, and everybody's finally leaving. Ariel's getting ready, getting his costume ready, and asking Zuko to patrol with him. Zuko said, "I'll go. Let me go talk to Knife for a bit. It's something important." And Zuko, Mirio said, "Fine, I'll wait up front." And I heard this and said, "Okay, young man, um, come to my office." And so they do, and take a seat. I ask, "So what do you want to talk about?" Zuko pretty much said, "Well, I used my quirk again on myself." And I said, "Oh, okay. And what did you see?" And Zook said, "Well, for this month, it's actually something bad. I want to change it, and I want you to see the future first. I see your future, and then I'll change it after that." And I said, "Okay, do on mine or yours?" And Deku said, "On mine. It will change for you completely and might mess up the whole thing for you." And so now it does look at Zuko's future. For this moment, I'm going to tweak it a bit, and he see main events, but not all of it. And he sees everything that happens in canon. How Deku meets a little girl. He doesn't see the restrictions on what she looks like, her height, or anything. But he sees a man with a mask shape, but he doesn't know what it is. As he's looking further in the future, he's up to the point where they're fighting. Um, and and he can't go any further. He's looking, and he sees himself on a bed with an oxygen tank, breathing very heavily and slower and slower. And it he hears in the background a beat sound that's never ending. So it took a second and came back and said, "Young man, uh, was that?" Oh, I see. And Zuko said, "Yes. In that future, you died, but the plan was success. It saved the girl. But I think things would have gone worse if something it won't change. So, with your permission, may I act the moment I see her?" And now I was thinking about this. What kind of repercussions? He had to get a few permits to make sure they are good. And I and Deku conversate about this. A few minutes pass, and Zuko leaves with Muriel. So they're doing their scouting, checking through the seeing streets, making sure it's all safe. Until Eri came in, bumped into Deku, and was shaking and holding on to him. She said the same thing. Zuko said, "Hey, hey, it's okay." And he sang it closer, holding on to her tightly, and said, "I know. I saw the future. It's okay. But I need your help for this." And Mira is coming and chiming in and saying, "Hey, Deku, in time, I'm sorry. Hey, in time. Did you, I forgot what he says in canon, so he thinks a few things, making sure the girl's alright. And then someone was coming out of the shadows, asking to bring her back. She's my daughter and is, is a little, she's very scared of everything. So I wanted her to be safe and come around people just a bit, okay?" And he's kneeling down and reaching out his arms. Eri sees this and was still holding tight, and Zuko says into close to her, whispering and not telling Muriel and I forgot his other name, the other guy. I actually forgot. Overhaul. There we are. And they can't hear it, but Eri can. And he says, "Wait for tomorrow. I'll be there, and it will be good." Can you please wait there? After all this, I can take you back. If you understand, please move your hand low up to my shoulder. And she slowly does, shaking. And right when she touched his shoulder, oh, dang, she pretty much let go and go to overall and holding his hand as they're leaving. Muriel was about to step in and say something, but and overall was going to take off his gloves. But Aries said pretty much grab onto his hand and start walking away. So a few hours pass, and Muriel and Deku give a report to Nai about what's going on and what has happened. And Zuko nod to Nai, and Nai nod and get right to the permits, all the other stuff they need to get ready for. And Muriel's a little confused, but he follows Nai and asks a few more questions. Nai is telling him the plan on for tomorrow. And so Zuko's shift finally ends, but he's so anxious and can't wait for tomorrow. He actually gets into the dorms, says goodnight to everybody, and say goodnight to Suyu. Sorry, I can't say her nickname. And went back to sleep. He actually took some pills, sleeping pills. Nothing bad, just sleeping pills. I had to say this, sleeping pills. And immediately fell asleep. So and this is like on a Friday. So the next day, there's no school, and Zuko woke up early and went and didn't even say good morning to anybody. It was really early, around 6, and everybody usually get around 7 and 8. He makes breakfast, finish it, eat it, and get out and get over there. Sorry. And as he's getting there, he sees a few more pro heroes going there as well. Some other, and he's sorry. Zuko's there first, and then Anai came in, opened the door, and escorted him to the meeting room and tell him to wait here until everybody else has come. So they're waiting, and Miro came in with the a new determined look, very serious and getting ready for anything. Nejire and then and her teacher, her pro hero, I guess, and then Uraka and Suyu. Then a few heroes came in, and then Fat Gum came in, and Kirishima and Bakugo. And they're not really sitting side by side, they're just everywhere since everybody came in at different times. And they have their meeting. All my, not I, and All Might, well, no, it's a different, that's a different series. But Nai pretty much tells them what's going on, the plan for Eri. Muriel and Deku look at each other and give each other a nod. Muriel understands what the plan is and understood why Deku didn't do anything at that point, even though he knew what's going to happen. So Rocklock, he chimes in and asking why are these kids doing here? We don't need any of the weight uh, tagging along. Um, the, all four of them, the two girls and the two guys, are very angry, and it's showing. But Deku actually chimes in, saying, "Well, sir, Rocklock is it?" And Rocklock said, "Yes." "Well, sir, I'm the reason why we are having this meeting now, not 2 weeks early, further up in the future. Hiroshima, no, Tsuyu and Bakugo hear this, and he said future. So they know that Deku is changing the future at this point. And Deku is also saying, and sir, I know what you're going to say, and I prefer you to not say a thing until we've saved the girl, and then you see all the proof and evidence that comes with it. Right, Nai? And Nai chimes in and said, yes, young man. In time is correct. What we have found and the evidence we have, we also are preparing for a raid for the Yakuzas. And everybody's getting ready, putting on their suits, their costumes, getting, signing each other's tasks. So it's all happening 2 weeks earlier. Yep. Because it doesn't really say what time, so I'm going to do it like this. So a few hours has passed. Everybody's at the meetup point, and Uraka, Suyu, and their pro hero with Nejire is knocking on the door. And like what Deku in his report said, it's a big man that was prepared to fight, and a bunch of other people are coming out and fighting. So these are so more of the pro heroes are ready to fight, and was getting ready. So they're fighting each other. Bakugo, Kirishima, and Fat Gun was getting into the fight as well. But Bakugo got a little carry in hand and pushed, well, beat a few more Akuza's members to a wall and knocking down more of the Akuza members, pretty much clearing a way for everybody else. Now I uh, directed to the secret passage, and Nai was about to press all of it, but Zuko said, "Hold on," and he looks both sides. Hey, Miro, check over on the left. And Miro kind of checked and see Akuda running away. Looked like he was actually going to tell somebody on a walkie-talkie. So Miro phased through the ground right in front of the guy and punched him with one hit in the gut, knocking him out. And the call ended at, "Sir." And Miro said, "Okay, I think I caught them, but we need to hurry." At the other end, the Kuzils were hearing a sir and was a call off. As a protocol, they ask what's going on and if anything is happening. They do not understand what's going on. Right now, they're in a meeting with the League of Villains. Sorry, my shoe is very dirty for some reason. And they're just talking. So an extra member of the Sevens came in and saying there's an emergency. Someone is breaking into to the base. And at this time, Shiraki said, "Well, I guess you're not. We don't. You don't need our help, do you?" And not Overhaul said, "Dang it! I was." He was in his mind. He was preparing for another experiment that could have been the breaking point. I'm not sure if this gonna change the story or not. So this probably will be the end of the series, probably. But oh well. And as and actually turn around as the hero of it, the League of Villains, if they could help them with a price. And they said, "What's the reward?" And they said, Overhaul said, 5 bullets of quirk erasing serum. And said, aha, that seems like a perfect deal. I will give two of my top um, crew to help you. And overhaul said, fine, fine. Um, so Toga and Twice came in. They did a little confession thing to make sure what quirk they were and see if they were gonna backstab them or not. And it shows they're not. It shows. Sorry, I thought it was raining. So everybody's and they're getting ready. At this time, they hear an alarm going off. Someone had broke through a few of their doors, and it's the heroes coming in, running through. They actually come further down the hall than in canon, but the Akuzos are now ready. They we already knew what they were planning to do. Overhaul. Dang it. Sorry, I had to move to another area. I don't really like talking to the people here. So, dang it, I left my spot. So they're actually running in like in canon, and the guy in the walls actually is molding the walls and changing all the shapes. At this time, Deku actually has a quirk, so he's him and Mirio is like flying through each of the walls like it's nothing in like in canon. But Deku is doing the same thing, breaking through the wall using a higher percentage because he knows he can hold back at the very end. So it's using about 5 to 10% all the way, hitting a wall and flying with Aizawa and all the others. Sorry, got interrupted again. Sorry, if you heard that, that was my dog. No, it's my chickens. Sorry. But, sorry. Okay. And so they're flying. They're getting further up ahead, faster and faster, up to the point where Overhaul is about 2 doors away to get Eri. And Eri's just sitting there, pretty much just sitting there. She has nothing to do. She's still waiting for that toy that guy was promising. And at this point, the guy was getting really pissed and tried to knock Aizawa away. But Fat Gum came in, and Kirishima was getting trapped. And they were pushed away, Bakugo actually sees the hole and actually went after him. So Fat Gum, Kirishima, and Bakugo is in the fight with the other two. It pretty much happened the same. Kirishima is becoming the wall, and Bakugo is right behind them. And said, "Be the wall, be the wall." And Kirishima is thinking to become the unstoppable force. And Bakugo in the background, while Fat Gum was taking all those punches, Bakugo was actually punching Fat Gum to store up more energy. So right when Kirishima was gonna attack with a weak punch, and the force shield came up, the guy was asking why the force shield is up and said because he's attacking. And Fat Gum gave his speech with an extra boost from Bakugo, enough where Bakugo is actually holding on to his arms in pain because he's done so much. And Fat Gum pretty much did his punch, becoming a sword and a shield at the same time for that very moment. Indestructible sword. And it actually broke the shield and knocking out the other guy, both at the same time. They're both exhausted and they're out. So we're moving to the next scene where Muriel was given a few hours before. Sorry, Zuko said um, to Muriel after the meeting was over, "Please, Muriel, you already know the plan, but here's the thing: if you see a person with a weird mask, take 2 straight hits, uh, go through 2 walls, make a left, and hit that door down fast." And Mira said, "Okay, and what am I looking for?" And Zuko said, "You'll know when you see her." When Mira heard that, he knows he's going to save the girl. I have 5 minutes. So Muriel is getting further and further up ahead, up to a point where the walls seem normal, like he was out of the range of the guy that's in the walls. So Zuko and the others are still in the main group, and the walls are shaping and forming. And then at this point, Twice came out with a Nomu, and Rocklock was taken out by a Toga. She did her line, and at this point, she escaped right very close call from getting captured by Deku. Twice was taken care of her, taken care by everybody else, and they left. At this point, Muriel saw one of the crew members, and they were actually struggling behind, mostly because they need their equipment and to fight. So he's one of the weaker ones, actually. And Muriel sees this, and without hesitation, actually went straight to him and punched him right in the face, making him knock out completely. Not dead, knock out. And he said, "Okay, okay, two, uh, 2 walls, 1, 2, a left door," and he kicked down, and he sees Eri. She's frightened at first, covering herself with the sheets, and said, "Hey, hey, it's me. It's okay. I'm with in time. The guy that helped you yesterday." And she's lowering down her blankets and see the guy that was right behind the guy that was helping her. And she, thinking in her head, he's right. He came back. And Eri pretty much quickly said, "Come here, come here. I need to take you back." So she actually grabs on and hold on. And Muriel is booking it this time. He's actually going straight up as far out. He actually was told to, instead of going through the walls, actually go straight up to the going up to the ceiling. So they're actually escaping first through that way. And the overhaul is one door away, and then two doors, one door, and he's in there. And he's looking into where his area is. He's looking under her bed through the toys, and he's getting really pissed that she is not there. He's wondering had taken her, and he's calling in the backup, saying who took Eri. All of them are coming back. A negative, none of them. At this point, he's getting really frustrated, taking off his gloves and says, "Fine." And he touch the ground and morph it and disassemble, reassemble, and messing with it until he finds Eri, and nothing is showing up. Some of his crew members are getting taken over by this, but nobody can find Eri. At the point where it's about to touch Muriel's toes, he phased through and escaped. But Overhaul did this way too much and started affecting the guy that modeled the whole hallway. And that very wall was the last wall that Deku had to punch. So he punched through and sees the scene of Overhaul morphing the floor, the walls, to look for where Eri is. And he's yelling, "Where is she?" Not I. And Aizawa finally get there and see what's going on and said, go in for plan A. So Nai is throwing all his weights towards Overhaul, and the Overhaul is just making them disappear like they were never going to alter. But the impact actually hit him extremely hard. He's knocked back a few times. At this point, Aizawa was getting ready and said, Deku said, now. Deku was holding 3 threads back, where he can actually go further faster. And Aizawa stared right at to Overhaul and all the stuff as he stopped moving. And Zuko and Aizawa said, "Okay, ready. 3, 2, 1." And Zuko flew off, almost hitting a soundberry. But he was getting ready for a punch. He was using full counting, full calling 20% and boosted himself with his threats and getting ready for a punch. He did one, flew right past him, got pushed with his threads and pushed and hitting, kind of like how Deku and what was his name? Gran Torino were fighting against. So like that, Deku has now become the teacher and doing the same thing to Overhaul. Until the very last punch, Zuko actually did 100% on his right arm and did destroy smash right into Overhaul's head, sharing it but not completely knocking, destroying him. And there, he's completely knocked out. He can't move at all. And there's the scene. Okay, I have enough time to tell about the rest, but after all that has happened, everybody coming in and try to take everybody arrest. And Deku, Bakugo and Kirishima came up and asking Deku if he needs any help. And he said no, but take care of Fedcom and the others. They're going to be a very good information gathering. So they do and go off. Same thing with Suyu and Araka with the others. But Mirio and Naya is asking where Mirio is. And they're walking away, going all the way from the very entrance of the exclusive base. And they see in the cop car, and right by it, the ambulance, and Mary's right there, holding on a juice box and some candy. And she sees the guy that told her to wait for one more day. And she pretty much threw the juice box away and the candy and start running towards her and towards him and giving him a big hug. And she's tearing up and actually crying. And Deku kneeled down, actually holding on to her, and said, "See, I told you. In time, we came and saved you." So that'd be the end of that scene. No one really got hurt as badly, but now the end events are actually coming in. They found a few of their quirk bullets and found out that the bullet that was holding a liquid was actually holding a DNA. As they figure out, it was holding a blood of someone quirk. And they pieced it together and they knew that the girl was the source of the very power, a quirk erasing bullet. And I actually told them about all of this. And Rocklock actually put up and shut up for once. Sorry, I just don't like that guy. And I guess that will be the end of this scene. No, actually, a little bit more. So now I actually asked Zuko, what does your future tell you now? And Zuko said, oh, well, it tells me, let me check. And he checked him on himself and said, oh, I guess the sports, best, no, the music, the festival is about to come up and, ah, I guess that helps. And he actually asked, oh, not I, for one favor. And he said, for you and what you have done today, sure, whatever you want. And Zook said, oh, well, we're going to need, I want to take Eri, and Muriel will be there with her into the festival. I think she's going to enjoy it a lot more and more at peace with herself if she does. So now I said, okay, I'm going to need to make some calls, but I'll make it happen. And Zook said, and he bows and said, thank you, and left. So I'm going to end it at this point. I'm going to make another video. It's going to be smaller, but it's going to be the end of this series. And I think I have a good idea for the next one. Thank you for listening. Sorry it's so quiet because someone's here and I don't like talking out loud that much. And bye.